Hey everyone, welcome to Fatherhood and Fitness. Jeremy Marsh here. I hope you are all doing really well. Today I wanted to talk about the Shokz OpenRun Pro headphones. These headphones I have been running with and cycling with for the past month and a half or so. I want to spend a little bit of time today telling you what's in the box, what you get out of it, some of the pros, the cons, the benefits of having an open headphone, so you can hear everything around you, and then some of the little bits that I'm like, oh, you know what, Shokz could improve on a little bit with it. What do you get inside the box when you actually get these headphones? You don't get a whole lot, but you actually don't really need a lot because they're just headphones. So you get some documentation, which I can show you right now. You get some basic, you get a user guide, a quick start user guide, and then you just get a bunch of warranty information. But let's be honest, no one reads the warranty information anyways. So inside the box, you get this little bad boy here. So this little case here, well, it's actually not really little, but this case here has the headphones. It's probably one little thing that I'm not a huge fan about this type of headphone, being an open ear headphone, is that it wraps obviously around your ear and then around your head and then back around the other ear. It is a little bit of a bummer because then this case is actually pretty big. Like, it's not something that you can really shove into your pocket or anything like that. So that's a little bit of a negative side to having these type of headphones, but there's nothing against the actual case itself. The case itself is quite solid, like you can't really damage your headphones, which is a really good outcome. When you open up the case itself, you have not much in there but the actual headphones itself, and you get your charging cables. So the charging cable is proprietary. We'll discuss that shortly, so you don't really want to lose it. So it's actually great that you have this little bit of a, you have this little, I don't know what this is like a little bit of elastic here to hold it in there, because if you do lose it, you're out buying it again. And then here is the actual headphones itself. So the headphones itself are relatively basic and stuff. There's not much to them. You, in a sense, you just wrap them around your ear. You put them over your head like so, and you can see it there. So then it leaves your ear quite exposed, which is the whole point of an open ear headphone. So you put them on here. They're actually quite comfortable. You don't really feel that they're on there. I actually have these on a lot of the time at home when I'm just working and things like that. So I can hear like the front door, I can hear the kids, and then I can just kind of just hear the stuff around me, which is really good. They are very comfortable. You just forget that they're there. You can feel them obviously when you're running and that sort of stuff. They do bounce a little bit, but it's not a huge hindrance or anything like that, but we'll talk about that later on. If we actually look at the headphones themselves, so the headphones themselves, they have, this here is pretty much the bone conducting part of it. There's not a whole lot of buttons or anything on here. You've got a little button here, and you also have your volume, your power button, and that is pretty much it. And then you've got your charger right here. So you got this little, there's a titanium band that goes along here that kind of holds them. And if you notice that if you put them down, they always kind of go back to the same place, which is really good. Yeah, so that is the actual headphones. They're nothing flash hot. They're not the sexiest looking headphone, I have to admit, but again, it just comes down to the actual design of them. You can't really do much about that when they're obviously going to be wrapping around your ear. Setting up the headphones themselves and connecting them to a phone or to a computer is actually relatively easy. It's just like any other headphone, to be honest. You actually just, all you got to do is turn them on with the button here. You hold it down until the little light here flashes blue and white. And then when you have them on, you will obviously, it says pairing mode. You search for it on your phone, you connect it. It's pretty straightforward, and then they connect ever since then. There is only one thing that I'm not a huge fan about these headphones, is the powering off situation. So I used to run and cycle with my AirPods Pros. Obviously they link seamlessly with, you know, your iPhone and your computer and things like that. But as soon as you take them off and you put them in the case, they go into low power mode or sleep mode. They turn themselves off. With these bad boys, they don't turn off automatically, which is a real pain in the butt. So I have left them on thinking, like, I've taken them off my head, chucked them in the case, had no issues, zipped it up, threw it in my bag, and realized that I didn't turn them off, and then they're still connected. The only reason why I realized that they were still connected is because when I went to pick up my phone, because it called, I actually went to answer it, and they were connected to the phone, or to the headphones. So that's a little bit of a bummer. It could be an actual issue as well, because you will end up not having a charged pair of headphones if you keep them plugged in all the time and you don't take phone calls or you're not listening to music or anything. You will find that they will probably die. The battery life on them though, great. They're rated for 10 hours. To be fair, I've never really pressure tested that whole 10-hour situation, but the 10 hours, I could probably see that happening because I have only had to really charge these 2 or 3 times throughout the last month or so. Haven't really had any issues with them from a battery life perspective. There's nothing worse than wearing a pair of headphones and then they die while you are working out, which can be a real pain in the butt, especially if you're out for a run and you don't have any other pair of headphones, or if you're on a bike for that matter, you don't have any second pair of headphones, and let's be honest, no one runs around with a second pair of headphones. One of the other things that is really good about the setup for these headphones is that you can actually pair them to 2 devices so at the same time. So I can have it linked up to my phone, which is great, and then I also have them linked up to my Mac Studio sitting on my desk, which is a fantastic feature. So I can be listening to music on my computer, no issues, and I can still hear what's happening. My wife can, ask me to do something, and then I can kind of just keep going with my business. But then if my phone rings, I can actually answer the call on these headphones, which is absolutely fantastic. So I can answer the phone call. All I have to do is push that button there and it answers the phone call, which is great. Again, if I have them on throughout the day, which I do a lot of the time, they're kind of like just there. They're kind of just a part of your ears. You don't really have any issues with it. So you can just answer the call, then you hang up the call, whatever it is, and then it automatically connects back to the actual computer, which is a really, really good feature to have, and I'm a huge fan of that. The user interface on the actual app. So the only difference So the main difference between these and the actual non-pro version is that these ones here have an app. It has an iOS app and it also has an Android app. Is it worth paying the extra money for these ones just for an app? Personally, no. I'll flash it up here on the screen, but I don't see there's a real benefit on it, to be honest. Like, the app itself is not that flash hot. It doesn't really give you that many more features, to tell you the truth. I actually find that all it really does is you can play with the equalizer and it tells you the actual battery life of the headphones in a percentage. Again, it's something that I don't really care about, to tell you the truth, because when you put them on, it says fully charged or 50% charged or whatever it is. So I don't think you're going to get a huge benefit with the app. Some people like having an app. I connected it to the app. Again, I didn't really get too much out of it. So if we spend a little bit of time talking about some of the main key features that I really love about these headphones. The first thing is that they are an open pair of headphones. So being that they're open and you have them on like this the whole time, you can hear everything around you. So when you are out on a run, especially at night, if you don't feel very safe, you can still hear everything around you. But then the main benefit, and one of the reasons why I actually got these, is because when I'm on the bike, I used to use my AirPods Pro on the bike and I would have transparency turned on. Sometimes that would be picking up a lot of wind noise and things like that, and then it kind of picks up like different noises and things around you, like car horns and that sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden you're just deafened by it. Whereas with these, you just have the headphones on, which is great. You can hear everything around you, and you are not deafened by like horns, sirens, things like that. The only downside to having an open pair of headphones, open ear headphones, is that you actually hear everything. I guess it's not really downside because that's why you buy them, but you can hear everything. So if you're listening to some music and you want it to be pumping and you want to get rid of all the noise around you, these aren't the headphones for you, obviously, because they are open ear headphones. That's when I will go back to my AirPods Pro. So depending on where I'm running or at the time, if I'm running down a major freeway just alongside it, I generally chuck in my AirPods because I don't want to be hearing trucks and cars and things like that. If I'm in a park and it's a lot quieter, that's when I get these bad boys out. When it comes to the actual performance of the headphone itself, obviously it's using the bone conductivity so you can hear it. It does sound great. Like, you do get a bit of bass in there. It's not the world's best bass or anything like that, but you do get some good bass in there, especially with these ones. These ones are apparently the newest technology, so you get some really good bass. But it's not overly loud. It's loud enough that you can hear everything around you, but it's not like thumping loud, depending on the type of music that you want. Sometimes when I'm running or working out, I do like to have the music ridiculously loud, just kind of pumps you, especially at the end of a marathon or anything like that. I like having some really loud music. You're not going to get that with these. You can crank the volume up. However, I found, and I've read this on a bunch of reviews as well, is that you get a really tingly sensation around your ear. And that's obviously because it's conducting the audio through the bone. So if you have it up at more than, let's say, 80%, that's when you're going to have a bit of trouble. All right, I need to bring up one of my biggest gripes with this pair of headphones, and that is the proprietary charger. That is an absolute no deal for me. I hate proprietary chargers and things like that. So let's have a look at it. So this proprietary charger, I can't even say that word. This proprietary charger is magnetized. So you can see here that it has the little elements here that it magnetizes to. So if I get out the charger itself, and we have a look at this, and we go to put it on there, it connects to it, which is fine. I have no issues with it magnetizing to it. Like, it's pretty cool. You can take it off and then it magnetizes back to it. The only gripe that I really have with this is that, one, if I lose this charger or this cable, then I'm stuffed. I need to go out into Amazon or eBay and find another charger, which obviously I'm not going to get right away, which can be a real pain in the butt. I kind of see why they have done it. Like, if you look at it, it actually, like, it connects easy, which is nice. But like, I would prefer USB-C, to tell you the truth. They can't really claim that they're using a magnet on it because of the sweat resistance and the splash resistance of it, because if you look at a phone that has USB-C, and I don't have any issues if I jump into a pool with it. So they can't really use that. They also say that it's also, like, it's nice and easy to charge it, but again, it takes 2 seconds to grab a USB cable and actually plug it in. I would much prefer that, because I have USB-C cables floating about absolutely everywhere. Every one of my devices is now USB-C. So it makes life a hell of a lot easier. Having this thing means I can't use it. Yes, it has the little, slot here in the case, which is great, but then at the same time though, like, you shouldn't need this because you've got a USB-C, okay? I really wish that the next version will have USB-C. I'm not putting money on it though. And also, it has Type A USB as the charger. Again, everything around us now is beginning to become USB-C. My laptop doesn't have this type of USB-A port. I think I might have 1 or 2 chargers around with it. Lucky that I have a power bank with this USB-A on there, so I can charge them, but it just means I only charge them through the power bank. It is a real bummer not to have USB-C, and that is probably my biggest gripe with it right now, is the lack of USB-C and having this proprietary charger. The only thing that I can think of is if they had the proprietary charger, is if I was able to, for example, put this cable through the case and it sat there, so then I could drop these in here and then it charged. Then I wouldn't have an issue with it, because then I could put USB-C to the actual case. But obviously it doesn't do that. You have to have them out of the case, like that. You have to put them out of the case, but then you can't actually put them in here, which is another thing. I've got little kids running around. If I just leave this like this, they're going to be playing with them, grabbing them and stuff, and they're going to get destroyed. Yeah, you got to be a little bit careful with them, you know, especially if they're like as they are, like a $280 pair of headphones. So you want to like look after them and things like that. You don't want them to be getting thrown around and getting pulled like this by the little ones and things like that. So if they could get USB-C, that would be fantastic. And if there was some way to charge them while they were in the case, that would be even better. Would I recommend these headphones for other athletes and other people that are into their health and fitness? Yes and no, to tell you the truth. If you were really heavily into cycling, I think these are absolutely amazing, because it keeps you nice and safe on the road. You can hear everything around you. You can hear your cars. You can hear all the other cyclists around you and things like that. I think there is a huge benefit in having them if you're a cyclist. If you're a runner, which I do, most of my exercise is running, 85% of what I do is running, I'm kind of like yes and no. If you're running at night and you don't overly feel safe or anything like that, then yes, these would be perfect for you. But I actually just find running, I just want to block out everything else and just listen to my music, listen to my podcast, my audiobooks and stuff like that. You can do this, but then again, you're just hearing everything around you. So for a runner, I would be like yes if you want to be able to hear everything. But personally for me, I don't use them all that much when I'm running. When I'm doing events, like big marathons and things like that, and they don't recommend having in-ear headphones, these are great. Also, they're great for events because you get all the ambient noise around you and things like that, and it kind of eggs you on. So I think that's really good in those situations. But overall, if you were a runner, yes, they are great, but I actually prefer not to have these on when I'm running. Would I still recommend you to buy them? Yeah, if you can afford them and if that's what you want, go right ahead. I don't think they're bad. It's just not really the type of headphone that I prefer to use when I'm running. Overall, that was just a really quick intro and my thoughts on the Shokz OpenRun Pro headphones. Leave some comments down below and let us know if you have any questions and if any feedback on the video. That would be really good. And I look forward to sharing some more fatherhood and fitness adventures into the future. Take it easy, guys.